You seem to understand. I'm not locked in here with you.
That's it! You're locked in here with me!
All right. It's the Tuesday night live stream. Radio Baloney Live. I am your host, Richie Baloney. So I didn't know if it was going to happen. I didn't know if it was going to happen tonight, but I somehow made it work. So here I am. And yeah, I've done no prep for this. I haven't had time. I've just kind of thrown a bunch of stuff together. I have no notes. I have nothing. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. But here we are. I said I'd be here, and I'm here. Welcome in, everybody. Welcome in, everybody. Shall we just get to it then? All right. What are we going to talk about tonight? First off, we're going to talk about this journalist at the Olympics suspended for saying John Lennon's Imagine is a vision of communism. It is. It's exactly that. Yes, it's exactly a vision of communism. He should not have been canceled for that. So if this must be why journalists are constantly lying, because as soon as they tell the truth, they get fired. So they just lie, I guess, just out of default all the time, just in case, just to be careful, just make sure. Well, if I say something true, I might get fired. So I've just got to lie nonstop. That explains the whole thing. Caffeine. I need it. So this is aside from the weird Olympics opening with the blue guy. I guess that was supposed to be Dionysus, the god of wine and orgies, and all of the bearded people in the dresses and all the weird stuff, and the guy with the balls hanging out from his shorts at the Last Supper thing. Aside from that, here's another story. Here's another controversy. Well, what have we got here? From Rumbum. How you doing, sir? Now, Rumbum says, now he brings up a really important point here. He says, the majestic God Emperor Trump can even tame the killer rabbit from the Holy Grail. And look at that. Look at that. It says here at Tim Pool, that posted this, he said, there's a quote here. Quote, you'll never know want or loneliness again, Trump said. You'll never know want or loneliness again, Trump said. The world was cruel to you, but you have Trump now. But you have Trump now. Don't we all? Don't we all?
Everything woke turns to shit.
That's a great point. Great point. So anyway, we're going to talk about this journalist being he's suspended for saying John Lennon's Imagine is a vision of communism, which it is. And there's a thing about Imagine, which I hate that song. I think that's the worst song ever written. And I love the Beatles, right? And there's like John Lennon solo stuff that I think is great. Some of it's not so great. A lot of it's not so great. But there's some of it's fantastic. It's just something happened, and he wrote this fucking awful, commie, ridiculous song, this awful, bad high school yearbook commie poetry. I don't know what was going on. I mean, it wasn't that much earlier that he was saying that if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, ain't going to make it with anyone anyhow. That makes sense. That's good. It's Imagine bullshit, though. We're actually going to go through the lyrics of it, too. Because it's so awful. It's abhorrent. And if you don't already hate it, and you haven't seen the celebrity version during the COOF, this will make you hate it. So if you don't hate it yet, don't worry. I'm here to cure you of that. What else are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff on Kamala Harris. This is, every week now until the election, we're going to be doing stuff on her. All this weird stuff. There's like the Simps for Kamala going on. It's unbelievable. We've got some Trump stuff. We've got some censorship stuff going on with the social media. Obviously, it's ridiculous. Look at this. Elon Musk says, wow, this is crazy. Donald Trump, you search up for Donald Trump, a bunch of Kamala Harris stuff comes up. They're not hiding it very well. They're not even trying to hide it. I think personally that they want us to know. They want us to know what they're doing. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I think I forgot to get the. There we go. There we go. All right. Rumbum says, "Don't you dare play that video. Don't you dare play that video." Do you mean this one? Do you mean this one, Rumbum? This one here? Oh, I'm playing it. I don't care how cruel it is. There are people that need to see this. There are stupid people. There are people who still like that Imagine song. And we need to fix it. We need to fix them. They're broken. Anyway, we'll get to that in due time. You'll have warning, Rumbum. You'll have warning. Hey, yeah, so, election stuff. We'll be doing this a lot. I mean, right up until the election, obviously. Look at this. White dudes for Harris. Ugh. Just have a bit of fucking pride, for God's sakes. Have a little bit of pride, please. I mean, look at this. This is I guess, a celebrity. What is a celebrity now anymore? I guess it's this. That counts as a celebrity now. How many people know who this guy is? Apparently his name is Josh Gad? Josh Gad? Something like that? He's been in something. All I know is that when you're doing this shit.
You guys can recall that feeling you had on the night of Tuesday, November 8th, 2006.
And every vagina within 100 square miles just dried up, just turned into the Sahara Desert. Good Lord. Rumbum says, "Don't do it. The world can only take so much cringe." I'm sorry, I've got to. There are people that need to see it. They need the tough love. There are people that need to see the Imagine video. I know it's hard. Do you think I want to watch it? Do you think that I want to watch it as well? Hell no. I've watched this before. It's difficult. I retch when I watch it. Literally, you'll hear me retching when we put this on. I don't want to do it, but we have to be brave. There are people that still need saving. So we're going to play it. Sorry. I don't want to do this to you, but we have to. Let's see. Anyway, and then we'll just get to a bunch of just totally random stuff that's been, that I've curated. And I mean, I hope look, I've got 2 hours, an hour and 50 minutes now since we started to get through all this stuff. Cause I told you, I've just got some brand new, unexpected stuff dropped on me this week, which is all good. It's all good. It just means that my time is a little bit jammed. So I can't do 3 hours or 4 hours tonight. It's going to have to max out at about 2 hours, maybe like 2 hours and 10 minutes, maybe. But we'll do our best. Anyway, so we better just get right into this, right? Okay, so this journalist at Olympics suspended for saying John Lennon's Imagine is a vision of communism. It just straight up is. It just straight up is. Again, this must be. So I guess if a journalist just tells the truth, this is the problem with the world. If a journalist tells the truth, they get suspended or fired. So they're just out of just default. It's just safer just to lie about everything, lie about everything all the time. If you say something true, you're going to get suspended or fired. John Lennon's Imagine is a vision of communism. That's true. Polish journalist and sports commentator, PB, Babiars. I know I think I can do the last name. Babiars has been suspended from the Paris Olympics after labeling John Lennon's Imagine a vision of communism. A vision of communism. We all know that it is. During the 2024 Olympics, the famed song written by the late Beatle, John Lennon, was sung by French singer Juliette Armanet at the opening ceremony that took place on the Seine River in Paris on Friday. While it was playing, the Polish state broadcaster said on air, "This is a vision of communism, unfortunately." See, he's from Poland. They know a little something about communism. Right? They were living with it until really, fairly recently. And it didn't go well, and people didn't like it. They're just a few mere decades away from that. So they know. The comments immediately triggered a reaction from for those watching in Poland. The public broadcaster Babiars works in Warsaw TV, blah, blah, blah. Later issued a statement that made it clear the well-known commentator would not be commenting on air from Paris about any more from the Summer Olympic Games. I don't get this. Poland, they know about communism. But I guess maybe what has happened is maybe the kind of elites in Poland have been reinfected with the mind virus. Because you got to think like the regular man and woman probably isn't eager to be. I mean, they probably have a negative opinion of communism. I would assume, because again, it didn't go great for Poland. But anyway, I don't know. I mean, the guy told the truth and he gets suspended for telling the truth. I don't know. But is it a vision of communism? Is it even that it doesn't even sound like they were contending anything like that. No, it's not. No, it's not. Just a nice song. It seems like they just don't want him saying that. Rumbum says, probably said it to get away from having to cover the absolute shit show that is the Paris Olympics without getting fired for just leaving. Maybe so. Maybe so. But as to this question of whether or not Imagine is a vision of communism, well, let's go to the lyrics. And again, listen, I love John Lennon. Love the Beatles. I think he did some really good solo stuff as well. But this song is this is a terrible, abhorrent abomination of a song. And I don't know what he was thinking. I mean, I know he was doing a lot of drugs at that time. But let's see the lyrics here. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. Sounding pretty commie already. No hell below us, above us only sky. Already pretty commie. Let's face it. And there's billions of people that would disagree with that. I'm not a religious man myself, but that's just the facts. Imagine all the people living for today. That's a terrible idea. That's a terrible idea. You can't just live for today. You have to plan. Living for today. What does that mean? Well, who's planning? Who's planning like the maintenance of the hydroelectric dam, right? Like who's planning? Like who's thinking not about just today, but like the power grid, and like a year or 2 years or 5 years or 10 years. You kind of have to do that. You can't just live for today. That's stupid. What's that saying about a good society is one where old men plant trees, the shade of which they'll never sit under. Because they're thinking about the next generation. They're not just living for today. Living for today is actually a terrible, terrible idea. I'm not saying you can't have fun, but you can't. That's not a way to live. That's a way to wreck your life. That's a way to be irresponsible and stupid. Sure, get caught up in the moment here and there. But, living for today, just living for today, all the people living for today, really? Really? Who's dealing with the sewage treatment? Exactly. Who's minding the nuclear reactors? No, terrible, stupid. This is below high school yearbook quality. High school yearbook poetry quality. Imagine there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. It actually is kind of hard to do, to be honest. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. So imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. So what? Like a one world super state? Because that'd work out great. That'd be perfect, right? I'm sure there'd be nothing to kill or die for. I'm sure the super state wouldn't kill. The world wouldn't be ruled at the end of a gun. Because guess what? People are unruly. I think there would be things to kill and die for in that world. No, typical commie bullshit. And again, the religion thing, I don't know. I used to be one of those militant atheists. And then eventually I just realized, I don't know. I got no fucking idea. What am I? Am I the king of the universe? I don't know. I don't know anything. So I'm not going to tell people to not believe whatever. Go ahead, do it. That's your thing. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. That's never going to happen. Let's just face it. That's never going to happen. That's just stupid. That's just stupid. You may say I'm a dreamer. You're just dreaming. You're not thinking of the practical application of anything. You're just talking about, oh, well, there'll be this one world commie utopia, I guess, and somehow it'll all work, and nobody will think beyond today. Everyone will just be living for today, but everything will still work somehow. I don't think so. Here we go. Imagine no possessions. You know what? Fuck you, John Lennon. Fuck you. Is this the inspiration for the World Economic Forum? You'll have nothing and be happy? Did they get it from John Lennon? I'm not liking it. Shut up, Commie. No, I want possessions. I want to have possessions. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. Well, I can, and the way I imagine it is that it's terrible because I don't have anything. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Yeah, but nobody's really thinking about the future, just like you said in your other verse. Everybody's just living for today. So nobody's thinking of greed or hunger. You know what'll happen there? Everybody will be hungry. And this I guess this, because what else is he talking about? No countries? Yeah, one world superstate. Nobody's going to be greedy. The people at the top of the pyramid aren't going to be greedy. That's always the problem with these utopian ideas of equality and equity. And there's still human nature. And the people that have the chance to exploit other people will. And they have a much easier time of it when you have total centralized control. That's why communist countries suck. You may say I'm a dreamer. I say you're just stupid. I think he was too high when he wrote this song. I think that's what happened. He just got too high and he wrote this steaming pile of garbage. But I'm not the only one. Unfortunately, you're not the only one. If it was just John Lennon, it would be fine, I guess. Right? That would be fine. And the world will live as one. Yeah, I don't know. It's not working. Yeah, I don't think so. This is a commie song. This is a goddamn commie song. A dirty, filthy commie song. Imagine there's no countries. No, I'm not going to, actually. I'm not even going to bother. I'm not going to waste my time with this. I'm sorry, John Lennon. You did some great stuff. Norwegian Wood, fantastic. But this, I'm afraid, it's just an abomination. It's total, utter garbage. If you still don't hate this song, you will hate it after you've watched this. This is so difficult to watch. I hate to do this. I hesitate to do this. I know this is hard for people to watch. It's hard for me to watch. It's difficult. I retch when I watch it. It's so disgusting. We're going to have to do it, though. If you still don't hate Imagine, this should do it for you. Let's give it a go.
And it goes like this. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Okay, we got to keep going. You should have, if you have something like a bowl or something, you might have to vomit into, but I think we've got to watch it a little bit. We'll watch a little bit more. Again, I'm doing this to cure you. This is the tough love that some people need. To realize that the song Imagine is an abomination. Let's continue.
Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for.
Breathe. Take a deep breath. We're not going to do much more. I don't want to actually harm anybody. I know this is difficult, but there might be somebody out there who needs to see this to cure them of their love of the song Imagine and also hopefully communism. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1.
For today,
I can't do anymore. Oh, Jesus. In fact, I got to get that off the screen. Oh, Jesus. What the hell was that? There we go. Oh, that's better. That's better. Oh, that was tough. Whew. I didn't want to do that. But I know there's people out there that still, I don't know how, they still think there's something in that song. They still like that song somehow. And sometimes you need to go beyond the John Lennon version because you can be tricked by that. Because you recognize the voice, and he's a good singer and everything. So you need to really see it in its really, I think it's more natural form. I mean, it was really made for people like this to do that. I truly believe that. I think if John Lennon had known what he was unleashing at the time, I don't think he would have done it. But again, he was probably very, very high on drugs at the time. So, addiction is a terrible thing. Addiction is a terrible thing. All right. I think I feel a bit better now. All right. So we got JJ Nevada in the chat. Good to see you. He says, Imagine is a Commie song. He's 100% right. Let's see. Michael Douglas is saying Across the Universe was great, but Imagine is awful. It is awful. You're right. Let's see. G Flood. Yeah, he's saying if you go carrying pictures of Chairman Mao, you ain't gonna make it with anyone anyhow. That's from Revolution, which was just a few, couple, 2-3 years before. Imagine. So I don't know what happened. Again, John Lennon had a lot of drug problems at that time. So let's see. G Flat says, cue up some farts. They're coming. They're coming. Launchpad, good to see you. Launchpad says I think we can all relate to this. My ears from the Imagine song. Yep, that's normal. And also, next segment, please. I promise you we'll never do that again. Oh, Jesus, what is this? Good Lord. This is some heavy stuff here. Rumbum says it's like nails on a chalkboard, had sex with Jaden Smith's Twitter posts, and had an abortion that survived. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. I accidentally pressed the fart button there before I pressed the cheers. I meant to go for the cheers. That's a good one. I'm giving him another hand for that. Michael Douglas says that Lennon also hit the ladies. He did, and he actually admitted that later in his life. Yes, he did. Yeah, not good. Not good. All right. Man, that was hard. That was tough. But let's get it. We don't have a lot of time tonight. We got another hour and a half. So let's keep going here. So let's hear what Joe Rogan has to say about Kamala Harris here. I want to see that.
It all bothers me, the fragility of the human mind. So everybody forever was like, Kamala Harris is the worst vice president. She's the least popular vice president of all time. And then in a moment in time, all of a sudden she's our solution. She's our hero. Everybody's with her. All these social media posts about her. Try Googling a negative story on her. You won't find one.
So,
ta-da!
Okay, you've got me started, Officer Harris. So,
yeah, it's this Pavlovian response has been created within the viewers of like CNN, NBC News, MSNBC News. They've just trained their viewers now. So it's like they ring the bell and they drool. So everything can be like, oh, well, maybe she's pulling down the ticket and she's not popular, to all of a sudden you need to support her. Boom. They ring the bell. They drool. It's incredible. Like we're witnessing genuine brainwashing here. All of these people. I showed the I put out a video, was it last night, of the 160,000 Karens for Kamala Harris, right? They're all so excited to vote for Kamala Harris. None of them voted for her in 2020. She got 0 delegates. She got 3% of the vote. Nobody liked her. They didn't like her. None of those people voted for her in the primary. None of them. CNN rings the bell. They all drool. They've been conditioned. It's brainwashing. I mean, it's the clearest example of brainwashing I think that we've seen yet. But anyway, let's continue.
They've been doing this live for years. So in 2019, our pal Tulsi absolutely nuked her in that second debate. And if you looked at charts at the time, she's kind of, Officer Harris is like doing okay. First debate, she comes out, Joe Biden, you're a racist. The Democrats were looking for an alternative to Bernie Sanders that wasn't Biden. She starts going up in the polls, right? Second debate comes out. Tulsi, being a good Hawaiian, knows how to roast the pig. Just completely slams her. Not only that, she has no counterpunch. She goes on Anderson Cooper and she's like, well, I'm a top tier candidate, so of course people are going to take shots at me. That's her answer. She immediately starts going down in the polls. It's that day. You can see it on the chart I have on my Twitter. All the articles at the time that did an autopsy on Kamala Harris's failed campaign didn't mention Tulsi once.
Yeah.
It was BBC, LA Times, Reuters, New Yorker. A guy from the Washington Post just did a piece looking back on her campaign, didn't mention Tulsi either. They completely pretend it didn't happen.
Well, it just shows you that what they're looking for is not what they say they're looking for.
Yes.
Because she is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit. So she got to see people blown up by the war. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. All those things you want.
But
and you don't want her.
Because she's not for war.
Yes. Well, she's also just not willing to play ball. There's a game that's being played. And if you're like, hey, you're not supposed to fucking move the ball. Like, oh, look at this bitch over here. Like, get out of here. You're going to fuck up our game. It's not real democracy. It's controlled parties.
Yeah. I mean, it's all just so obvious too, isn't it? And, Michael Malice, I really like. He's like a right-wing anarchist, right? He wrote The Anarchists. I don't know what it's something. A book he edited. There's stuff he says I don't agree with, obviously, but he's funny and he's really smart and he's interesting. There really is a diversity of thought on the right now, and like conservatives or whatever it is now, whatever this group of people is, the disaffected liberals and people like Michael Malice and conservatives. I don't know. All the categories have shifted. Words don't make any sense anymore. Every word has been redefined by the left. But there is all this diversity of thought on our side now, which is interesting. We don't. It's because we don't have we don't have purity tests the way that the left does. You must be 100% everything. You can't be one step to the right on anything, or else you get denounced in the modern left. That where we are, people can disagree with each other. It's okay, as long as you have the basic ideas like freedom of speech, say, right? And basically basic human rights. And for the United States, First Amendment, Second Amendment. So it makes things a lot more interesting over here. But the strength of the left is that they do conform. Like CNN, MSNBC rings the bell and they all start drooling immediately and they just do what they're told. But anyway, what are you guys saying? See, Rumbum says, how'd you feel if you had to listen to Yoko 24/7? Yeah, that would not be good. That would not be good. Let's see. G Flood says, as long as the discretionary budget pays the agencies that pay the influencers, they'll support Harris. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Michael Douglas says Michael Mouse was on Cash Cab way back in the day. I don't think I've seen that. Rumbum says Republican Conservatives Party is the real melting pot. It is. That's where there is actually a diversity of ideas, you know. And there was a, when Matt Walsh came out, writing about, what was her name, Amber Rose or something, the rapper chick. She's got all the tattoos and stuff. At the RNC, and he didn't approve of it. I didn't like that at all. That's not characteristic of the modern kind of conservative or right wing, whatever you want to call it, movement. I just call it the sane movement. There's crazy, the people who believe in sex changes for children, for instance. And then there's just the sane party. Like the people that want to give they would like to just spend the entire GDP on giving free drugs to people, right? Giving people free fentanyl, right? There's the crazy side, and then there's just the normal people who are kind of pragmatic. But Mouse's point there about Tulsi Gabbard was an excellent one, because she was. I know it's hard to remember sometimes. She actually was a Democrat. Not anymore. Now she's an independent. She's not even a Republican now. She's an independent. But she was a Democrat. She is the strong woman that they say that they want. It's just that she wasn't an establishment goon. She wasn't an establishment robot. So no. And now they're all thrilled with Kamala. Soon as the media rang the bell, they knew what to do. No questions. Let's see. Launchpad says, woo, one of my comments was removed. Oh, so you're on YouTube though, right? You're on YouTube. Well, we're going to be moving away from YouTube soon. So what we do now is, because I've been censored myself, I'm not surprised that one of your comments was removed by YouTube, because my videos are getting removed by YouTube. There's a war of attrition on my subscribers. They're just culling my subscribers constantly, censoring my content. So what we're doing now is we're doing the first little while on YouTube, while we're also going on Rumble. So we stream YouTube and Rumble, and then after the first part, maybe half an hour, something like that, I cut off the YouTube part. We keep going on Rumble, where we can all be free and let it all hang out. And all hang out, man. You can let your freak flag fly with Radio Baloney on Rumble. Come on, man. Because we don't got the man looking over our shoulder on Rumble. Man, it's cool. It's like Woodstock over here. So we'll give it another few minutes, another 5 minutes or something on YouTube. And then I'm going to switch it off, because it's not worth the censorship over there, because the longer I talk, the more likely they're going to find something that pisses them off. All right. Let's keep going. All right. Elon Musk says, wow, this is unbelievable.
The U.S. is experiencing record inflation, the worst in 30 years, way beyond expectations. OPEC didn't increase oil production. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would prevent the new spending in your Build Back Better agenda from
So this is a couple of years old, I think.
Exacerbating the problem? And also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic, but is on a daily level. something that is a heavy weight to carry. So it is something that we take very seriously. But there is also a point that is important to make on the Build Back Better framework. One, it is designed to make it less expensive for working people to live. It was specifically designed to bring down the costs of childcare and increase accessibility and availability. Designed to bring down the cost of elder care. And make it available to all those working families that need that support and need that help. And Build Back Better is not going to cost anything. We're paying for it.
Yeah, so she never actually has any actual answers. She just kind of explains, like as if she were talking to a 5-year-old, what the problem is, and then that's pretty much it. And Elon Musk says, wow, that's what you get. This is going to stretch. Kamala is going to stretch the limits of the Pavlovian conditioning of the mainstream media viewer. All right. I think I covered this in the, all right. We covered this stuff actually on Sunday. So let's move on. What have we got here? All right, let's watch this. So this is the acting Secret Service director, Ronald Rowe. And he's having a clash with Josh Hawley here. Let's take a look at this.
Senator Hawley.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Director Rowe, can you put your first poster, your first demonstrative back up?
Please put A up, please.
Let's make sure everybody.
I think the good
No,
part's
sir.
up here.
Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance.
Has that person been relieved of duty?
No,
Here we go.
Person who's in charge of the interoperability. Well, sure. My question is, why don't you relieve everybody of duty who made bad judgment? So yeah, you're right. I am zeroing in on somebody. I'm trying to find somebody who's accountable here.
And we
So
will-
you're telling me that the person who made the decision not to include this in the perimeter has not been relieved of duty? What about the person who's in charge of the interoperability of radio frequencies between local law enforcement and Secret Service? Has that person been relieved of duty?
No, Senator, because interoperability is a challenge, is a greater challenge than just one person. On that day, we had a counterpart system. It failed
As the
spectacularly.
person who made the decision to send Donald Trump onto stage knowing that you had a security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir, they haven't.
Has the
because-
person who decided not to pull the former president off of stage when you knew that, in your words, the locals were working a serious security situation, has that person been relieved of duty?
No, sir. Again, I refer you back to my original answer that we are investigating this through a mission assurance. And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
What more do
or
you need
two
to
individuals,
investigate
we wanna
to
find out
know
exactly what the
What more do you
decision-making
need to
process was.
investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot,
people didn't do their
I cannot
jobs.
put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
What do you mean put your thumb on
the
the scale?
objective, you're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the
Is it
Secret
not
Service.
prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
Then
just like you
fire
have.
somebody to
And I will
hold them
tell you,
accountable.
Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush.
What about whoever was the top person in charge there? How is that person up and fired? That should be an automatic. Should be an automatic. It almost feels like everything actually went almost according to plan. Almost according to plan. Not that there was this series of catastrophic mistakes, but it almost went according to plan. They just didn't quite get it over the finish line. The more you see of this, the more obvious it becomes, does it not? Does it not become more and more obvious the more you see of this? I mean, if you just look at the catastrophic errors, all of them, starting 3 hours before Trump hit the stage, all of them incredibly high likelihood things to happen. You know, extremely low odds that any one of those things would happen. The roof being exposed, the three snipers, one of them went home sick, apparently. Two of them ended up not at their position at the right time, just at the right time, just at the time, just one of them went down to look for the guy, couldn't find him, forgot his key apparently. The other one went down to let him in, and that's when the shot happened. Really? What are the odds of that? Just that one thing. What are the odds that they could have people screaming just that last 2 minutes, before the sniper fired? What are the odds that 2 minutes where people are screaming that nobody got him off the stage? That they don't have some protocol for that? That you had a catastrophic level failure, a catastrophic failure on that level? Because that's a catastrophic failure. You look at all of the incredibly low odd, the incredibly unlikely mistakes to happen. What are the odds that you'd know 2 minutes? The president's on the stage for 2 minutes, you know there's a threat, and nobody gets him off the stage. What are the odds of that happening? It's not 1 in 10. I don't think it's 1 in 100. I don't think it's 1 in 1,000. I think it's 1 in 10,000. That sniper being in the most obvious place and being allowed to get a shot off. What are the odds of that happening? 1 in 10 rallies, 1 in 100 rallies, 1 in 1,000 rallies, 1 in 10,000 rallies. You start adding these up, and the odds become it becomes like winning the Powerball lottery. Because it's not just 1 or 2 or 3, it's like 6 catastrophic failures. JJ Nevada says, fire them all. Fire them all. Somebody should have been fired. I mean, it's weird, right? It's weird. It's too weird to just be a bunch of incompetence, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. And I think right now we're going to cut off the YouTube stream. So anybody on YouTube, please come on over. Please come on over to Rumble. Now, I watch Rumble on my TV. I just download the app onto my Roku. You can get on Apple TV, Fire Stick, and like smart TVs. It's basic. The Rumble app is available everywhere. So if I want to switch between YouTube and Rumble, it takes me 30 seconds. Because those apps are just on my Roku. I watch it on my TV. It's very, very simple to do. And I would encourage you to do it. So anyway, we've got to cut off the YouTube stream now. And but we will continue. We will be continuing for another hour and 15 minutes on Rumble. If you want to join us there, please come on over. The water's great. We've got a great community over here. You're going to be more than welcome. Anyway, hope to see you over there. See you guys soon. But we're continuing on Rumble.